On making noise, define the need, notice the edges. Recently, there have been inordinate amounts of noise pertaining to aspects of the ongoing pandemic made under the umbrella of bioethics and classifications of treatment priority on the one hand, and on the other hand, denunciation of opinions generated by someone who is considered as old. Very simple individual that I am, part of those considered to be the least among us, yet singularly affected by the executive responsibilities of guidance and protection entrusted to these experts and leaders. I feel prompted to voice an opinion on these noisy attitudes of our experts and those others clothed in journalistic integrity. Statistics declare that in the preceding decade, 2010 to 2020, between 180,000 to 250,000 individuals per year died as a result of preventable medical errors in hospitals, equivalent of 4 full jumbo jets crashing together each week. 1 in 7 Medicare patients suffer long-term or serious injuries or die as a result of hospital care. 44% of the problems were preventable. There was a marked absence of highly publicized contemplation of expert bioethical review with regard to treatment then. However, it should be well noted that within the same span, lives were saved 1,518 months by adopting and using a simple checklist of practices for handling catheters, a fundamental, if rather pedestrian, parameter by expert bioethical standards. Now, for decades, our healthcare oversight and social governance echelon have largely ignored the details of rampant synthetic anti-prescription biotic overuse, compounded by sophisticated commercialized growth hormones and other complicated constituents introduced into the food chain, and their cumulative deleterious effect on the body's general administrative and particularly on the immune systems, even potentially deadly influences on an intergenerational trajectory. This to the extent that newer, more powerful mitigating agents must constantly be developed to counter the unrelenting responsive biotic mutations while increasing immune system deficiencies and progressive susceptibilities to infection. It took the enlightened experts over 40 years to uncover links of current serious afflictions, shingles and Alzheimer's, directly to long standardized exemplar chickenpox vaccine wonder treatments, food processing and chemical manufacturing compounds, elements and byproducts. This has not given rise to much professional angst concerning bioethics and treatment priorities directed to those at the helm, except to deliver gentle wrist slapping, promote vast sums of money and encouragement to the very same cohort to find cures for the conditions, and exercise progressive ignorance and derision of the old methods that epitomized form, stability, and symbiosis. There had been absent indignation or clear sign of fatigue when generations of children fell into obesity, grown folks began to succumb to illness and chronic complicated conditions generated by state-approved malnutrition through fast food purveyors that further decimate the popular immune system and foment environmental contamination. Now, when an age-old virus existing probably before the dawn of mankind with infinitely greater capacity for proactive adaptation than, say, a smartphone platform radically engages progressively obese, chemically laden, prescriptions compromised, chronic hedonism-oriented and pill-popping folks and children bereft of mother's milk and or qualified nutrition, Experts energetically, in the blink of an eye, lay the fault at the feet of the unvaccinated, although this vaccination answer clearly raises significantly more questions than answers, even in this very short space of time. The weakest link, common factor that rests in the net nutritional value N2V profile of the individual has not even been taken into consideration by these experts, who rarely exhibit cognitive resonance with the old, tried and true precursors of longevity. Neither experts, governance, nor journalistic integrity has exemplified a healthy diet of fresh fruit and green leafy vegetables sourced through relative exercise and symbiosis with nature, nor championed the approach to go tackle the great malnourished. Feed the children well, instead of with that horrid canned beans, nondescript meats and mac and cheese regimen. Reminds me of an old childhood ditty, which declares in part, "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayors are noddy. And as for our corporation, shocking to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts that can't or won't determine what's like to rid us of our vermin. Rouse up, sirs. Give your brains a racking to find a remedy we're lacking, or sure as fate we'll send you packing." Phooey on your bioethics of placing a lower priority on unvaccinated patients with regard to treatment. Contemporary medicine has not been capable of definitively helping me with the asthma I had since childhood, although I have paid you handsomely. And as far as the other illnesses are concerned, I have so far, through consistently active lifestyle and relative isolation from synthetics, enjoyed 69 years of immunity. My conviction is that while you are quite free to take your COVID vaccines yourself, you can, whatever you have of your share that is left over, give it to your mother.